Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, Shai Hashem, Kakwadash, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Because the Most High is only dealing with the 144,000 and the elect. If you're not of the elect, even if you're in a camp, you're not going to make it. And you can't pray that you become the elect. You were the elect in a past life. This thing is predestined in Ephesians. I'm not going to go to it, but somebody can put it up. Let me do this. Yeah, man, let me go ahead and bear me for a minute. Anyway, the name of this video is the prophets should be prophesying in America only. That's the place. So now let me go to Ephesians. Ephesians. Okay, it's in the first verse. Okay, I'm going to start from the first verse. Paul, an apostle of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, by the will of the Most High. See, Paul was doing the will of the Most High, not his own will. When he went to those different places, he was instructed through the Spirit to go to those places. To the saints, which are the Israelites, which are at Ephesus, which is one of the churches or gatherings of a group of Israelites. Some of them knew that they were Israelites. Some of them didn't know that they were Israelites, coming back into the fold, into the faithful and Yahweh and Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Grace be to you and peace from the heaven, our power, our Father, and from the Lord. Now that word is Kairos, as I said, Kairos, Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers. And where is he going to deliver us? He's going to deliver us from America. Now, if you have elect scattered in other parts of the world, they're going to be delivered too. But the main deliverance is in America. So your focus is supposed to be on America. As I've said in a previous video I did yesterday, I forget which video I did. I do so many videos. I mentioned the field is ready for harvest. The field represents America. All right. The city also represents America. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to go through Revelation chapter 11 and the NLT. So you're going to hear it in a different light. So it says, third verse, blessed be the Lord and Father of our Lord, because the Heavenly Father is over our Lord, which is his Son in the Spirit. We are all sons. Lord, your daughters as well. Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who have blessed us with all spiritual blessings. What does that mean, all spiritual blessings? That means we know the whole book. There's another 100%. When it said all, it means 100%, right? Bless us with all spiritual blessings. So what power do we have? The word. It says all. That's another precept. We got to remember that one. We got to put that to the list. You have an unction from the Holy One, and you know all things, all spiritual blessings. You have these Edomites and these other nations having these conferences concerning the UAPs, the unidentifiable aerial phenomenon, or the unidentified how you say that, anomalous, which is no name. It means anomaly means no name. So unidentified, unnamed. We don't have a name for these ships We don't know who they are. We don't know if they're aliens, if they're angels, if they're Russian UFOs. That's why they call it the U. They went from the UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, to the UAP, unidentified uh, anomalous what is it, phenomenon. And that's really an English term. You used to be the UFOs, showing you that the orders come out of London, out of the elite from London. So let me come on back. So spiritual blessings. So my point is this: they're questioning what the UAPs, UFOs are all about, and we have the answers. And guess what? They watch all our videos. They know what we say day to day. They have people, agents, spies, whatever you want to call it, monitors that watch everything that we say, and they give a report back. So they know that we teach that these UAPs, UFOs are the angels, and we did many videos on this, myself and others. So they know who these UAPs are. They know that they're the angels spying out the land. What it shall enter into the house of the thief. What seest thou? I see a flying roll. This is a curse that goeth, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Thief. This is the curse that goeth across the whole earth. But it said it shall enter into the house of the thief. The house of the thief is Babylon the Great, that great city. So, Bishop Nathaniel is out there in Africa and trying to wake up. Ain't nothing going to, trust me. This going to pan out like your church blitz is going to pan out. You clearly got, if you're playing for a college team or the NFL, the coaches you have the head coach, you have the assistant coach, you have the offensive coordinator, you have this defensive coordinator, you have the doctors, you have all these different things that to do the best things, get the best players, so you can win that game, so you can eventually win the Super Bowl, right? So the head coach gives you a plan. He gives you the blueprint as to what play you're going to play, and you practice it. So if they say, okay, whatever term that they use, snap 23, whatever they use. So when they're saying it, the quarterback is saying it, but it's in code. So the opposing team doesn't know what they're talking about. So let's say that there's a play that the coach says to use, and the quarterback want to do his own thing. Well, the wide receiver, he's on one side of the field, and he's throwing it to the other side of the field, and the guy's not ready for it because that's not a part of the plan. Because the quarterback is using this code, so his team hears what's going on. They know, okay, it's that play because they practice it. So the Most High gave the playbook. He's the head coach on high. Here you got Bishop Nathaniel doing his own thing. You do that, the coach is going to chew you out. Then he's going to kick you off the team. So the play that we're playing, that the head coach on high has given us, was to preach this word in America. Nothing going to pan out in Africa. Trust me. Don't give a damn how big them schools you build. Ain't nobody. You're gonna have a couple of stragglers come up in there, and some of them, half of them, are gonna be actual Hamites. You need to follow the GMS, because you ain't right, bro. You just reverse yourself, and we're gonna get on. You know how we do. You know how we do. You just reverse yourself on the lake of fire, because you've been watching us, and and if you're going off on that, what else are you going off on? What else is your pride not allowing you to see? This truth is supposed to, the place that we're supposed to be at is the Americas, not no South Africa, not no Iran. You got the black people in Iran and the Israelites. And if you go to Iraq, go over here. What about Mount Kilimanjaro? There's Israelites up there. Why aren't you up there? It said, blessed be the Most High, the Father of our Lord Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who have blessed us with what? All spiritual blessings. Remember that. Ephesians 1, verse 3. In heavenly places in Yahweh Shai, according as he hath chosen us in him before the what? The foundation of the world. That's predestined, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. So we can't go wrong. We are found without guile. Revelation 14. Having predestinated us, that's reincarnation, vocab Malone, unto the adoption of children or sons by Yahweh Shai HaMashiach to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will, to the praise of the glory of his grace, wherein he hath made us accepted in the beloved. Accepted. Many are called, few are chosen. The chosen are the elect. You can't make yourself the elect. Of whom we have redemption through his blood. That's why the Old Testament only Israelites, they're lost. They're lost souls. They don't know what the hell's going on. Them Israelites over there in the land of Israel, vocab ain't talking about them because they're not a spiritual threat. They just got people that they know that they're Israelites, and that's about it. They don't believe in the Messiah. They just lost. They might as well get on a rocket ship and go to the moon and hang out there. The forgiveness of sins according to the riches of his grace, wherein he hath abounded toward us in all wisdom. There it goes again, all wisdom, 100%, and prudence, smart, having made known unto us the mystery. What's the mystery? What's a major mystery? The MOTB. We know we had the mystery because the Most High opened up our spiritual eyes, our spiritual pineal gland, to see it crystal clear. These other camps can't see it because the Most High haven't tapped into your spiritual third eye, your spiritual pineal gland. And you can use all the go-to cola you want. If the Most High ain't dealing with you, you ain't gonna be dealt with through the Spirit. You're not gonna know these mysteries of his will, according to his good pleasure, which he have purposed in himself, that in the dispensation of the fullness of time, he might gather together in one all things in Yahweh Shai, or Hamashiach, both which are in heaven and which are on the earth, even in him, in whom also we have obtained an inheritance. Inheritance is the land, but what's a part of the land? The knowledge of the land. When you take somebody from one land and put them on another land, they're going to learn the ways, the customs of that land, and forget about the customs of their own land. So inheritance, vocab Malone, does start with the land, but if we're not in the land, we identify only with being American, because in slavery, all we know is the American way, English, and is America. That's why you got Jakes joining the military and the politics, trying to make it. And a lot of Jakes trying to make it through money. Money ain't the way. Money is just a means to an end. As Eustace Mullen would say, end to a means. So inheritance goes deeper than just the land. Being, there it goes again, predestinated. That's reincarnation, according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his what? Own will. Let me look up the word predestinated. See, we're plugged into the Most High. Bishop Nate is not plugged in. ISUPK is not plugged in. A lot of them groups are not plugged in because you're going to get a clear signal. Poroidzo, predetermined, decide to the Most High beforehand in the NT New Testament of the Most High decreeing from eternity. That's why I said from the foundation of the earth. To foreordain, to ordain for meaning before, to foreordain, appoint beforehand. If you go to Jeremiah 1, it tells you that Jeremiah, I knew you before you were born, before you was in your mother's womb, and I sanctified thee to be a prophet unto the nations. We are those prophets we likened unto Jeremiah. The reincarnation is biblical. Elijah did come back in the man of Abba. That's Elijah. Okay, so now let me come over here. Let me just go into like GOCC. They don't believe in reincarnation. You know why? Because the Most High is not dealing with the head of Rakash Shayah. The Most High is not dealing with him, period. He just kind of came in. Read Jude chapter 1. So I'm going to go right into it. In the NLT, the two witnesses represent on a macro level. I'm not going to give you the micro level, but the macro level it represents Israel, but the prophets of Israel. Revelation 11 verse 1. Then I was given a measuring stick, and I was told, go and measure the temple of the Most High. What does 1 Corinthians chapter 3, I think it's 19, say? That we are the temple, we are the Most High's building. So the measuring stick is the truth, which is in the scriptures. This includes the Apocrypha, temple of the Most High, and the altar. What is the altar? The altar is the place where the teacher, the shepherd, the pastor, the prophet teaches from. What is America? America is a 5,000 square mile altar. So when they come up, and I say this all the time, when they say, well, if you don't like America, you leave it. You tell them that, well, we're here to condemn this place because the Most High told us to condemn this place. And once the Most High said, okay, your testimony is done, I'm going to beam you up, and I'm gonna do what's called a burnt sacrifice. So this is going to be the biggest burnt sacrifice in the history of the planet Earth. In the history of the planet Earth, where have you ever heard in history of a land mass 5,000 miles square engulfed in flames? You shall perish in flames. Inside joke. And count the number of the what? Of the worshipers. Who are the worshipers? The elect. Start with the 144,000. But do not measure the outer courtyard, for it has been turned over to the nations, the other nations. So you can't come into the Holy of Holies. You can come into the outer court. That's it. So in the kingdom, when we teach you the law, statutes, and commandments, the furthest you can get is to the outer court. You can't come into the inner court because you're not an Israelite. It says they will trample the holy city for 42 months, which represents 3.5 years. It represents 350 years from around 19 1619 and 1970. That's when we started. That's when this man started to go down. That's when this truth kind of started getting pushed. It really got pushed. If you really want to get deep, if you really want to go to the source, it really got pushed the month of July 2007 when GMS put their first video up. That's when it opened up. That's when it opened up, man. Not when Bishop Nathaniel put up his video in 2006 or GOCC or any other group. This thing opened up when GMS put up their first video uh, back in 2007. Now, I was watching a video of the head elder of Chicago, Malcolm. I was watching a little short video, about, I don't know, 15 minutes long. And he had a video showing of somebody walking through New York City. And it opened up in Columbus Circle. I remember that place, Columbus Circle. Right in the middle of that is a big statue of Columbus. We even prophesied at that at that statue. And the police came, and the police officer was cool. He said, I'm not gonna bother y'all. Y'all exercising your First Amendment right. And, I said, thank you, officer. And they went about their business. So he was talking about how he heard. I guess he heard the first. He said July. He said July. He said he heard the around July, August. I believe August he came to New York, and he was looking for the prophets. That's what he said. Because I remember that when he came to the crib. He said that. He said that's when all bunch of us was here. Nazariah, all of us, all the whole Chi-Town crew and the whole Dallas crew. And he was talking, and he said that when he came to New York, he was searching New York to look for the prophets. You know, and that was in 2007. So this man been in the truth. He's truly a veteran, man. 2007. That's 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20, almost 24. So that's what? That's 17 years. He's a veteran, man. He's a full-fledged veteran of this thing. You can't. Hey, there's nothing you can get him on. Whatever he know, he knows. Whatever he knows, we know. All the top teachers out there that's teaching, we don't gotta get on the phone and remind them, look, brother, you ain't been the spirit that they got plugged in to the matrix. You know? You guys we got to keep reminding you to do this and reminding you to do that. And you do a video maybe once a week or once a month. Most High, the angels is recording that. And in America, not no fucking Africa. Ain't shit gonna pan out in Africa. Cause you just stubborn, bro. You like that. You like a toad. Look up a toad. Do some studying on some toad. You can throw rocks at a toad. That toad just sit there like, I ain't afraid of no rocks. That's a toad. Full of fucking pride, bro. So anyway, let's go. Let's move on. Let's go. Third verse. And I will give power to my two witnesses. And that was talking about the prophets, the Israelites when they were in the power seat, the prophets, the kings, to the mighty prophets, to the major prophets. You know, we always prophesied that the kingdom's going down, and they went down. So they had a record. They said, well, when the prophets, when the Most High, you know, initiates, activates the prophets, they just go. They just go. They come in the spirit of the sentinels. It says, and I will, and they don't stop. In the spirit that all you men that are part of GMS and really all the camps, if you saw the movie Platoon, the last scene where it was an all-out war, that's the spirit that you're supposed to be in. The weapon that you have is the scriptures. The bullets are the precepts. Ain't supposed to be, oh, I'll do a video. I'll do a video September, then I'll do another one in the end of October. Then I'll take Christmas, December off, and I'll do a video. You ain't one of the elect. You got to be. Look, as many videos I do, I ain't did enough. That's in the scriptures. What do you say? I'm an unprofitable servant. Even though if I did 10 videos today, I'm still unprofitable. I haven't did enough. That's why guys are going to start getting kicked out and suspended. You wallflowers, you better get off the fucking wall and and wondering what the hell you got to do. What I'm supposed to do? I'm waiting for somebody to tell me what to do. And I will give power to my two witnesses, and it represents on a macro level Judah and Israel, Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom. But it's mainly talking about the prophets. It says, and they will be clothed in burlap. Burlap is like a potato sack. They're not gonna. It tells you in Matthew 11, the Lord looked at the people, and they looked at John like they looked at him sideways, like this nigga, the Most High dealing with this nigga. So the Lord said, "What you expect to see? A man with a king's garments on, soft remnant? You expect to see some guy? Because hey, Elijah looked like a hot mess. He had the camel's hair and leather on. He was rough. He was rough around. He was rough around the edges, man. He wasn't no squeaky. So the Lord said that. What did you expect to see? You know. So we ain't coming with those, Star Trek Enterprise zoot suits on. And that's why you got so many people following you. It's a brand. It says, and I will give power to my, and I'm not, don't take it the wrong way. IUIC, just get your act together. And you should consider that this man does go off. He just reversed himself on the lake of fire. You're gonna find out who's the number one group. And I'm not saying it to brag or boast. Because I like my butter on the breakfast toast. I had to say that. It was there. I try to stop saying it, but got to say it, brother. It was there. It's, it says, and they will be clothed in burlap, and will prophesy during those 1,260 days, which adds up to 350 years, which is really build up from the ancient prophets, Daniel, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Isaiah. These two prophets are the two olive trees. So now if you go on a micro level, it's talking about Zerubbabel. It's talking about Zerubbabel and Joshua the high priest. And the scriptures speak about Zerubbabel. Let me do this. I'm trying. I know it's. Bear me for a minute. Bear me for a minute. Okay, I found it. Zechariah 4 verse 7. That's one of the two witnesses. Zerubbabel. That was King David. It says, "Who art thou, O great mountain?" Great mountain, ultimately, he's talking about America, not Africa, not Mount Kilimanjaro, not Africa, not Mount Fuji. That great mountain represents America. The the power seat is in London, but the place is going to be utterly on fire. Well, it says in Jeremiah, and I'll most likely get that. It's also in Revelation chapter 8, America being on fire. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, thou shalt become a what? A plain. That a mountain. The difference between a plain and a mountain. A plain is a lowland, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shouting, crying, grace, grace unto it. Let me jump to the 7th verse. I'm not going to read in between that. I'm not going to read. I'm sorry. This is another. This is another chapter. Let's see. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. It said, "Before Zerubbabel, thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone thereof with shoutings, crying, grace, grace unto it." And that's Zerubbabel's going to be put back in his spot, which is King David. That's King David. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me do this right here. And just going to the word Zerubbabel. Okay, Ezra 2, verse 2, which came with Zerubbabel. Remember when the heathens upset their building, the head man was Zerubbabel and Joshua. Nehemiah, prophet. So the temple is being built in America, but the bricks, the stones represent each one of us, of the elect. See, the temple is going to be fully built in the kingdom when the Israelites that don't, the 2/3 come back in, because they're part of the temple too. They're part of the building, but they got to die and come back. Let me read this. This Ezra, the same Ezra in the Apocrypha, Esdras, which is the Greek way of saying Ezra. Then stood up Joshua, the son of Josedek, which is the high priest, and his brethren, the priest. So he was a Levite. And Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and build the altar of the Most High of Yeshua. So that all the physical altar of actual bricks we're building now, but the building. Look, you got these people in Israel talking about building the third temple. The third temple is being built before your eyes on the altar, which is America, to offer burnt offerings. So the burnt offering, the ultimate burnt offering, is this place. This is an altar right now. Uh, as it is written in the law of Moses, the man of the Most High. So all these prophets that you read about, most of them is here that you run into talking to a brother and not realizing that brother could be Obadiah, or Isaiah. Really got to start the first verse, but I'll start right here, second verse. Then they came to Zerubbabel because he was the head. Zerubbabel was also became the governor of Judah. So this was a time during the time period of Babylonian Empire coming into the Medo-Persian Empire, and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, let us, these are these heathens, let us build with you, for we seek your God as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Har-Saradon, king of Ashur. That goes back to 2 Kings 17, which brought us up hither. So they were keeping the laws. So they said, well, we want to be, and look, this ain't for y'all. I don't give a damn if y'all keep the laws. You ain't an Israelite. But Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chiefs of the fathers of Yashar'Allah said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power. That's why you got Edomites trying to get into this thing. Well, it just says the Gentiles are Israelites. Why you think Vocab is doing what he's doing? Because he's trying to look for a way, an exit, a back door to get into this thing. You ain't going to get into this thing. If you're an Edomite, your future is captivity. But we ourselves together will build, and that's what we're doing now. And if you're on a construction site and you sleeping and you ain't doing no work, guess what? The foreman is going to kick you off the construction site and fire you. You know? My so-called stepson to tell you that he's got a position, he's sort of a foreman, because them mobsters like him. And he yeah, he had his daughter had a, what was that, a christening or something, whatever they had, some type of celebration. And the damn one of the owners of the construction company, which are mobbed up, he actually came, you know, and he gave him this position, and he had to fire certain guys, and he said, I don't want this job because I feel bad about firing motherfuckers, but because he likes to work, and they'll say, well, you got to get rid of this guy, got to get rid of that guy, and he might give him a beer, and I'm sorry, man, the higher ups told me to give him a hug, and let them be about their business because they're not doing the work. You guys that are in this thing and you're not on fire doing this goddamn work, you're gonna get, the foreman's gonna come see you. The foreman's gonna come see you. All right, you better be doing this work. And if I don't get you, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gonna get you doing a video once a week or doing a video once a month. You're doing the most minimal amount of work you can do. You're gonna get docked by the boss on high. Big boss man on high gonna get you. It says, as King Cyrus, right, he made a decree to finance the building. So these heathens wanted to be a part of the building. They weren't a part of the building back then, and they ain't gonna be a part of the building now. Daniel 2 says what? And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, meaning other nations. Vocab Malone. The king of Persia have commanded us. So Cyrus is a king of Persia. And the word Cyrus is Hebrew for is Karash, which means chosen. I got to read this one. The 5th chapter, Ezra 5, verse 2. Then rose up Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Josadak. I'm reading it verbatim. You know there's no J in the Hebrew. And began to build a house. So we're building a spiritual house now of the Most High. They were building a physical house, temple of the Most High, building back Jerusalem. Um, of the Most High, which is at Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. So what are we doing when we go out there and teach? We're building Jerusalem back with choice stones, which are the elect. And with them were the prophets of the Most High helping them. So what does that mean? The prophets were building, meaning now they're building with the word, edifying. So the main place that this temple is being built, or this Jerusalem being built, is here in America. Is here in America, man. So let's come on back. It says these, fourth verse, these two prophets are the two olive trees and the two lampstands that stand before the Lord of all the earth. If anyone tries to harm them, fire flashes from their mouths and consume their enemies. Through the years, when you go back in the past of the prophets, there were certain prophets that received spiritual power. Elijah was one of them. That's why our Lord Yahweh Mashiach said, among men born of women, I'm quoting loosely Matthew 11, there's not greater than John the Baptist. And if you will receive this, this is Elijah, which is forth to come. And what made him great? Because he was a great prophet. He was a great prophet. And that's got to be in my spirit, that's got to be Abraham. Abraham got to be Elijah. Samuel got to be Elijah. And so when the Lord said John is the greatest of all prophets, he was talking about the works he did when he was Elijah, Abraham, Samuel. He didn't do his own will. He was a warrior, you know, killer robot for the Most High. He was a major sentinel for the Most High. And he didn't waver. You see? So who called fire from heaven? Elijah. Who this is how anyone who tries to harm them must die. Now we don't have the power now. We're looking to get the power. We're looking to be the true X-Men. And we ain't gonna have no individual power. We're gonna have all the powers that the X-Men have. We're gonna have the power of Magneto. We're gonna have the power of Pyro. We're gonna have the power of Dr. Xavier. A guy used to come down on 33rd Street and Edomite, but he could have been a Jacob. He used to come out every week. And he looked like young Dr. Xavier, so we used to call him Dr. Xavier. It says they have power to shut the sky, that no man that no rain will fall. Elijah did that as well. Great prophet, great prophet. For as long as they prophesied, and they have the power to turn the rivers and ocean into blood. Who did that? Moses, the man of the Most High. And to strike the earth with every kind of plague as often as they wish. Now there was 10 plagues that struck Egypt through the power of the Most High by Moses. When they complete their testimony, that's the prophets prophesying, the Jeremiah's, the Ezekiel's. You know, there was a time where the Most High turned the power off. That's why when we were captured by Esau, when he put us into slavery, the Arabs, certain Hamites, even Jake put us into slavery with the Edomites, the Most High had to take the power from us. It says, when they complete their testimony, the beast that cometh up out of the bottomless pit, and that's Revelation chapter 20, that's 1490, well, before 1492, that's the Renaissance, will declare war against them. And that's what they did. When Esau came up into power, who did they declare war against? the Israelites. Then eventually they went to the Americas and they declared war against them. And he will conquer. What does the word conquistador mean? It's Latin or Spanish for Castilian Spanish for conquer. And he will conquer them and kill them. And that's what they did because we resisted. And their dead bodies will lie in the street of that's not supposed to be there. Jerusalem is not because they assume that it's talking about Jerusalem. No, let's say this is talking about the people before it's a place. So it should be, and their dead bodies will lie in the main street where the Israelites dwell. Let's say that. This is America right here. Ezekiel chapter 37, the valley of dry bones is not Africa. It's not Iran. It's not mainland China. It's not Hawaii. It's America. Well, Hawaii is a part of America. It said the city that is figuratively called figuratively called Sodom and Egypt. That's America. Why Sodom? You know why. Why Egypt? You know why. The word Egypt is a Greek word which goes back to the word Mizraim, and Mizraim means bondage. I went through that. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Egypt doesn't really mean bondage, but we associate it with bondage. But Mizraim, if I'm not mistaken, is bondage. The city where their Lord was crucified. That's why they said it's Jerusalem. Oh, the Lord was crucified in Jerusalem on Golgotha. Well, the crucifixion is talking about they crossed the Lord out of our mind. Because how can this place be called Jerusalem, but it's also called Sodom and Egypt? Don't make sense. Spiritually called or figuratively called Sodom and Egypt is talking about America. That's why they're pushing that, alternate lifestyles. And that's fornication in Revelation 17:4. It says, this is getting long, but that's all right. The Spirit's on me, so I gotta go with it. 9th verse. And for 3.5 days, all peoples, and represents 350 years, tribes, languages, and nations, the heathens, will stare at their bodies. It says dead bodies in the KJV, but they're looking at us and they know who we are. The elite know who we are. No one will be allowed to bury them because we were not physically dead. We're dead in the mind as to they are dead while they liveth. Just quoting a precept. So we're dead, mentally dead. And you can't wake Jake up if they're still under that dead sleep. That's why you tell Jake, and not too many Jake gonna hear it. Then a certain Jake gonna hear it and they're gonna come in. Muslims, they're in a dead sleep. They're dead. Black conscious, they're dead. That's why it's a damn shame that Captain Zarak still deal with them guys and befriends them. He befriends those guys. They're enemies because they're leading Israel astray. They're worse than Esau, bro. Because Edomites will tell you, there's Edomites that tell you that we're the Israelites. 10th verse, all the people who belong to this world, will gloat over them and give presents to each other. Part of the presents was us. We were gifts. They were giving gifts, us being on the auction blocks, to celebrate the death of the two prophets for what the Israelites did, mainly the prophets did, who had tormented them. Now the word, so when we go out there and teach this word, Esau be losing, they be having nightmares, man. They say in their minds, well, what if this actually comes? So that's a form of torture. It said, but after 3.5 days, the Most High breathed in life into them, Ezekiel 37. They stood upon their feet, but had no breath in them. old breath breathe upon these slain. So this goes hand in hand with Ezekiel 37. And they stood up, terror struck all who were staring at them. We started saying it with the Israelites. They ain't looking at the black conscious community as a threat. They're looking at us as a threat. And our threat is a spiritual threat. They know, like I said in the beginning of this video, that the so-called UFOs, UAPs, they know that they're the angels coming back to destroy this place and to deliver the elect to Israel. They know it. They know it. But they're afraid to come and talk to us. Because we'll tell them. We'll tell them exactly what it is. You can laugh at us, but it's going to happen. 12th verse. Then a loud voice from heaven called to the two prophets, which represents what? The elect of Israel. Come up here, and they rose to heaven in a cloud as the enemies watched. So here come the burnt sacrifice. At the same time, there was a terrible earthquake. The earthquake is going to come from the missiles hitting this place. Isaiah 24, rock back and forth like a drunkard. That destroyed a 10th part of the city. A 10th part, you got a 10th part, you got 10 tens. Now it's 12, but you got 10 regions. Now they're saying it's 12 of the FEMA, because this place is broken up into 10 regions. So it doesn't mean a 10th, it means the 10 tens of the city. 7,000. 7,000 means everybody in the city shall be destroyed. No survivors. 7,000 people died in that earthquake, and everyone else was terrified. Who's everyone else that was terrified? The people that were living in other lands, and gave glory to the Most High. Who's going to give glory unto the Most High? We are, because we're going to get delivered. The second terror is past, but look, the third terror coming quickly. Second terror represents the World War II, and the third terror represent this terror, which is a war of Armageddon. Almost finished. Hang out. Stick with me. The seventh trumpet brings the third terror. It says, then the seventh angel blew his trumpet, and there were loud voices shouting in heaven, the world has now become the kingdom of Yahweh and of his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever. So we're going to reign with him. Now, I wanted to go into this real quick. They shall send gifts one to another, right? Lamentations 2 verse 14. The prophets have seen vain and foolish things for thee, and they have not discovered thine iniquity to turn away thy captivity, but have seen for thee false burdens and causes of banishment. So you got the false prophets saying everything gonna be all right. Most I said, nope, you're gonna be. The prophets are supposed to tell them to get right, or the Most High gonna put you into slavery. 15 verse, all that passed by clap their hands at thee, they hiss and wag their head at, what does it say in going back to Revelation 11, they shall see their dead bodies, they shall send gift from one to another. So they're happy. They said these motherfuckers on the bottom. We getting ready to get back on the top. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, which are the Israelites. Daughter, singular, means the men and women. Daughters represent the women of Israel, saying, is this the city where a people before a place that men call the perfection of beauty? And when we get into our kingdom, you're going to see the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth. And the nations are going to be happy because we're going to put them in order. All the enemies have opened their mouth against against thee. They hiss and gnash the teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly, this is the day that we look for. We have found, we have seen it. So they were happy when they were putting us on auction blocks, man. And that's when America was doing great. And the greatness and the riches of America came from down south. You had a lot of small hats go down south, man. Those tech what does you call that? Textile plants and different plants. You had the small hats go down there. That's why when they wanted to break off, Lincoln said, "Nah, because you break off from us, we gonna die." And the punishment was not free the slaves, but we're gonna transfer the slaves to us. So you niggas were not free. You were emancipated. Emancipate means to hand over. Hand over by the southern slave owners to the DC. Read the Constitution, Amendment 13 and Amendment 14. It says 17th verse. Yahweh have done that which he had devised, because this is his plan. He had Deuteronomy 28 is fulfilled. He hath fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. So if he did to us, which is his people, the apple of his eye, what do you think he's gonna do to the Edomites? As Canelo said to Caleb Pratt, he said, I have something as special for you. So the Most High has something as special for you. He hath thrown down and have not pitied. Most High didn't have no pity to the Israelites, and he have caused thine enemy to rejoice. Who are the enemies? Esau, number one, and the rest of the nations. They happy that we're on the bottom. To rejoice. So it's going to be a change of worlds. So you're going to be living in the slums and ghettos and working in the field, getting your ass kicked. And we're going to take your women too. Enemy to rejoice over thee. He hath set up the horn, the power, horn meaning power, of thine adversaries. He took away your power, your spiritual power, and he gave the power to Esau, which is the sword, which is the gun. 18th verse. Their heart cried unto Yahweh. That's what we're doing now. O wall of the daughter of Zion, let tears run down like a river day and night. And that's us. That's us. The abomination that is spoken thereof, the sigh and cry for the abomination that is spoken therein. That's the elect. So the Most High is only saving the elect. He ain't saving no regular average Negro. Give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thine eyes cease. Arise, cry out in the night, and in the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of Yahweh. Lift up thy hands toward him. That's in First Kings 8. Lift up your hands to the east. If we were all to call on the Most High, lift up our hands to the east and call on the Most High, this man be taken out overnight. It said, lift up thy hand toward him for the life of thy young children, young sons that faint for hunger and the top of every street. So the bigger picture is, what is a bunch of streets make up a city, right? So the street is America. It said, but not the streets of South Africa. It says, behold, O Yahweh, and consider to whom thou hast done this, shall the woman eat their fruit and children of a span long. Shall the woman eat their fruit and their babies? Shall the priest, now a span long is like a toddler, basically an infant. And the history is there how we had to eat our own babies. Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of our Lord. Because the prophets got caught up in this too. The young and the old lie on the ground in the street. Right. It says in Isaiah that lie on the ground that we may walk over thee. So they walk all over us in a spiritual, figurative sense. The young men and the old lie on the ground in the streets. My virgins, which are maidens, they became hoes. Amos 7:17, I believe. Thy wife shall become a harlot, I believe it's harlot or whore in the city. The city is America. And my young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pitied. The Most High didn't pity when he put that spirit on them devils. See, Esau is doing what the Most High put the spirit on him to do. The spit, as Manatazak would say, the spit. Last verse. Thou hast called as in a solemn day. You know, when somebody dies, you go to the funeral, nobody's laughing. That's a solemn day because you're sad for the person, right? My terrors round about, so that in the day of Yahweh's anger, he showed his anger on us. Now he's going to show his anger on Esau and the rest of the nations. None escape nor remain. Ain't none of you Edomites going to escape. And we're going to get the super rich. We're going to get the elite because they're going to be in their little cubby holes, in their little spider holes. They're going to be up on the mountains and other countries and up in the space stations and underground cities. And we're going to get them. Those that I have swaddled and brought up have mine enemy consumed. Who Most High swaddled and brought up who? Israel, right? And have mine enemies consumed. The enemy of Israel are the Edomites, number one, and the other nations. So we're gonna fuck them up very soon, very very soon. So we almost finished here. It says, bear with me. The 24 elders sitting on their thrones before the Most High fell with their faces toward the ground and worshiped him. And they said, we give thanks, these are angels, to you, Lord Power, the Almighty, Alashadja, demon-like power, the one who is and who always was. For now you have assumed your great power and have begun to reign. So we're going to reign with him. The nations were filled with wrath, but now the time of your wrath has come. It is time to judge the dead. We are the dead. And reward your servants, the prophets, as well as your holy people, which are the elect. The prophets, the apostles are over the holy people. That's why you got 144,000 in the rest of the elect. And all who fear your name. So you got to know your name. So the Most High give us the secrets under the servants of prophets, but he forgot to give you his name. But he says, call on my name. You better humble yourself, Bishop Nathaniel. From the least to the greatest, it is time to destroy all who have caused destruction on the earth. You have made the world a wilderness. Isaiah 14, last verse. Then in heaven, the temple of the Most High was open, and the ark of his covenant could be seen inside the temple. Lightning flashed, thunder crashed, and roared, and there was an earthquake and a terrible hailstorm. John spoke about the hailstones as the weight of a talent. Let me go to that. And just put in the word hell. Right. It says here, Revelation 8 and 7, the first angel sounded, and there followed hell and fire mingled with blood. And we just read this. Revelation 16, verse 21, and there fell upon men a great hell. Those are the missiles out of heaven. Every stone about the weight of a talent. A talent is about 175 to 100 pounds. And but the missiles are, I think there's the biggest missile is 20,000 pounds, something like that, thousands of pounds. And men blaspheme the Most High, the wicked men, the nations of the plague. The plague is the missiles. Zechariah 14 and 12 tell you that. And this is the plague of the hell, for the plague thereof was exceeding great. That plague is the missiles hitting this place. That's going to do the main damage. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.